Hmm. I I think I'd want to know.
Me too.
That's my only thing I would want to know. So we have another question from Brenda in the chat, and she wants to know your scariest experience.
Hmm. Um, I would think my scariest experience was having a huge crystal ashtray thrown at me. Um,
Can see that.
yeah, that was pretty scary because up until that point, and I was a very young paranormal investigator at that point, um, I had only maybe seen things out of the corner of my eye, gotten a few EVPs, and we didn't call it that. We just called it ghost voices at the time. But that was a really scary one. That was in a place called Hudson, Quebec. I had gone in to interview this lady who was having some issues in her house, and she told me that things were flying all over the place. And I said, really? Wow, I really like to see that. And of course, right after I said that, this thing on the top of her mantle, which was a gorgeous crystal ashtray, just flew right past me. And I don't think it meant to hit me, but I do think it meant to send me a clear message like, lady, yeah, there's things happening here and I'm here. So pay attention.
Oh, I, yeah, I could see that happening almost on command.
Oh, yeah. That was, I think, the scariest because up until that point, nothing like that had ever happened before. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, pretty
I
scary.
I I have some experiences of things being thrown at me that people find unbelievable, but it
Yeah.
scared the daylights out of me, and I don't scare easy. And
No.
now, and Brenda asks on the flip side of that, what was your most heartwarming experience?
Heartwarming, I would say, gosh, helping this elderly lady to understand a little bit more about what was happening in her home and helping her to realize that it was her deceased husband that was trying to communicate with her and let her know that everything was okay. That was probably the most heartwarming.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's something nice to be able to tell somebody, as opposed to some of the other stuff that sometimes we have to tell people in the paranormal.
You know what? I did have a funny experience. I believe it's actually on the website in personal experiences or local experiences. Some wonderful couple was having some issues with a home that they bought, and it was new to them, but it wasn't a brand new home. They didn't know anything about the previous owner, but they moved in, and I was contacted through email. And this lady said to me, yeah, our bedroom has a weird, funny vibe to it. So I don't know whether it's paranormal or not, but can I talk to you about it? Okay. So I talked to her about it, and she said, you know, we're like we're not spring chickens, and every time we go into the bedroom, we kind of feel amorous. And I
Oh,
said, okay. And she said, no, but it's more than just amorous. I mean, there's a real bow chicka bow wow kind of quality to this. And I thought, well, that was kind of interesting. So she wanted me to go and check it out. And when I showed up for the appointment at 1 o'clock or whatever, I thought I was ringing the doorbell, but I was standing there for quite a long time. And the neighbor pulled up and said, oh, that doorbell on that house doesn't work. And I said, oh, well, I guess I better knock on the door. So she said, do you want to know why it doesn't work? I said, sure. She said, well, the previous owner, he was quite the ladies' man, and he used to bring in all these, like, tramp ladies. And he disconnected the doorbell because people would show up and they would disturb him.
oh,
Yeah, and I said, "Oh, please tell me more." So she told me what kind of a playboy he was, and he painted his bedroom red and pink, and it was just unbelievable. And I said, well, have you spoken to the people who actually live here? And she said, oh, no, we don't usually associate with the neighbors. And I thought, well, that was the funniest thing. And then she said, oh, and he had a heart attack and died in the home.
Oh, well, there you go. You solved the whole problem right there by
Yeah,
talking to the neighbor.
you got it. So that was the funniest one, I think.
The funniest, but also the easiest one to solve was, did you talk to anybody in your neighborhood?
Exactly.
So, and Robin asks in the Spreaker chat, have you dealt with many portals either in nature or in the home, and what did you do to deal with them?
Personally, I haven't, although I have a lot of little paranormal friends who have. And one of them in particular said that they were able to close the portal by inviting in a medium who had her expertise in that. So I've had people that have claimed to have portals in their home, but I haven't personally had an experience with a portal and bringing someone in to close that portal. But you know what? Hey, you never know, because I always say I'm open to the experience, so bring it on, see what happens.
Yeah, I can see that too. So I've been in a couple places where there's been a true portal.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
That must be the most intense vibrational experience ever.
It can be. It can actually knock you off your balance completely.
I believe that.
So, Carl from CC Paranormal asks, what's your best evidence?
Best evidence? My goodness. You know what? There's so much evidence that's so personal and subjective to the people that are having whatever issues they're having. So it's hard to know what the best evidence was, but I'm going to say an EVP that was captured in a home here locally when the home was empty. They wanted validation that there was something there. They had moved out and captured an EVP that they actually sent to us. We listened to it and thought, yeah, you know what, this is unbelievable. And then having spoken to all the family members, I mean, we can verify that it's definitely not a fake. These people are true to their word. And in terms of my evidence, I'm going to say being touched, being spoken to during an investigation in my ear. That's never happened to me, and this one particular time that it did, that was quite an interesting and almost like an out-of-body experience. I thought, oh my gosh, somebody actually spoke to me. But I've been touched quite a few times, so that's good evidence to me.
It is, and sometimes your best equipment is you.
Oh, and you know what? That is absolutely true, because, you know, equipment fails often, as you know, on investigations, and you are truly the best antenna ever.
Yep. And do you often have spirits that are with you, like right now? I mean, right now.
Yeah. You know that they're there all the time. You can sense them. And if you've been doing this for a long period of time, you really understand when they're there. You can absolutely pick up on that different atmospheric vibration. And yeah, I know that I'm surrounded. I also know that I'm very protected. And that's really important.
I'm actually getting that right now. So it's kind of weird. But we can talk about that later. Because all of a sudden I had this huge chill come through me, and I know that I have my own, but it's not mine. So
Wow.
it has to belong to you or Kat, but I'm thinking it's you. So
Nice.
and it's really, it it feels like it's hugging me. So I think it's one that's a very loving spirit towards you.
Yes, I've often felt that, even as a small child. Yeah.
So we have a couple more questions from Robin. He asks, if a person is new to the paranormal and you want to, what book would you suggest for a reader, a new person coming in to read?
Wow, there's a lot of really good books out there. I don't know. There's one that's I think it's out of print, but it is written by Lloyd Arbach, and that's a really good one. And it is about gosh, I even have it in my library. If my library were right next to me, I could tell you. But I believe it's called Ghost Hauntings, and oh gosh. Well, you know what? Look it up. It's Lloyd Arbach.
Is the one with ESP
yes.
in it? Okay.
ESP, Hauntings, and Poltergeist, I believe.
I believe so, because I have that one.
Yeah, it's a good one, I think, for... Yes.
Okay. Kat says that's it. So
it's a good one for beginners, and I think I like it primarily because it talks about some of the issues that you might face as a paranormal investigator, and in the back of the book, it does have questions that, if you're stumped, if you're a new paranormal investigator looking for questions to ask, it does, help you out. So that's a good one to start with. But I'm a real, I think everybody should read whatever speaks to them and, take a look at what's out there.
There's thousands of books.
Oh my God, yeah.
On the paranormal now, at least from what I saw today. A friend of mine, Vanessa Hogel, she is like number 238 on Amazon's list of 7,000 books now. This was in Canada. Okay, she's here in the United States, but on Amazon, that's where she's listed as 230 something out of 7,000, and it's like, okay, well, that's a lot of books, and I'm sitting there going, wow, that's a lot of books. I know I have a lot. I mean, like I said, I have that one by Lloyd Auerbach, and then I have this interesting one called Ghosts by Hans Holzer.
Oh, that's a great one too.
Oh yeah, and especially if you have a door that keeps going shut.
I was going to say.
Yeah, it's really good for that too, because it's only about 3.5 inches wide or thick and huge, and is amazing if you're looking for a location that's haunted, but it was written like in 1970.
True.
But a friend got it for me on clearance at like Books A Million or something like that, real cheap. But I love it. I mean, just that she thought about it. But you know what, guys? We are at our last break, and we will be back in 2 minutes. So you're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. Get those questions asked, and I'll talk to you later. Well, in a few minutes.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama.